Welcome to another episode of Cubica AMF's Seeds of Success podcast, where we share nuggets of knowledge, insights, practical tips, and trends to help your center be a striking success. My name is Orly. I am one of the hosts here. And as always, I am joined by Dottie, the other great host. Dottie, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Orly. It's a new year and I am ready for a new beginning.
It is. It is a new season of Seeds of Success. We've been signed on to do, we weren't canceled.
That's right. Yay. I'm excited. We are in season 3, episode 1 today. So very exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that that we've been asked to do this and keep this going. I think that we share a lot of knowledge that is helping a lot of people in a lot of centers.
I couldn't agree more. And today, obviously, we have another great topic. So why don't you introduce it for us, Orly?
So today's show is Mission Possible, not impossible. Mission Possible. And Dottie, what do you think we're going to be talking about today when we talk about Mission Possible?
Well, gosh, Orly, I have to tell you, I was holding my breath. I was hoping you weren't going to say Mission Impossible because, I have a lot of words that are not in my vocabulary that are like taboo words. Impossible is definitely one of those words. So I'm really thankful that you said Mission Possible. So, yeah. So, at the beginning of the year, it's really important for us to take a look. We've talked a little bit on previous episodes about, going through and looking at what we have done and kind of evaluating things. And so now after we've evaluated everything, it's really time for us to put some goals in place and get a direction and see where we want to go.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to goals, one thing we have to do is kind of look back. Did you hit your goals in the previous year? If you didn't, what can you do to hit those goals this year, hit your new goal this year, or maybe just carry that goal over and try to hit that goal? Is it something that you see that you could have did? Do you feel that you did everything in your power to do it and some reason you just didn't hit that goal? There's a lot of things when it comes to evaluating your goals and seeing what you can do to hit it this year.
Right. And, there's a lot of different things that you can do. I am very much a competitive person. So if I set myself a goal, I don't want to just achieve that goal. I want to see if I can do it even better than that. I want to see if I can hit even higher than that. And so, and I know that I'm not unique. There's a lot of other people. I have a lot of colleagues that are that same way, right? I think you're pretty much the same way I am about that, right? You got to do a little bit better. But there's a lot of different types of goals that you can set. They don't always have to be monetary goals. I want to increase my revenue by 15% or 20% or whatever. There can be other goals that you can set as well that can also better your business. So maybe you want to set a goal that you help your employees to be better employees, and that you reduce your turnover rate, right? Yeah. And so you need to prepare for those things. If you say your goal is to decrease your turnover rate by X number of people or X number of percentage, then you need to have a plan in place to help you hit that goal, right? Yeah. You don't just set a goal and it's supposed to miraculously happen, right? You have to put some things in place. It's not a haphazard approach. And so make sure that when you are setting those goals, that you have all the steps that you need identified. So I know, Orly, you and I have talked about this before. I like to write my goals down so that I can look at those goals. And they're there as a constant reminder for me. I used to have a corner on my desk when I was at the Bowl, and that corner had my very important pieces of paper, one of which was my legal pad that had my goals listed out. It kept them top of mind for me. But, and goals can be, as I said, it can be that you want to invest in your employees and you're going to do evaluations on them or self-evaluations or whatever the case may be. Maybe you want to increase the number of birthday parties that you have. Maybe you want to have a more daytime leagues. Look at what you have finished 2023 with and see where you have opportunities to set some realistic goals, right? They've got to be
Yeah.
realistic, and obtainable. And then you have to have a plan in place to make those happen.
Yeah, sometimes out of nowhere something happens that you didn't expect. Let's say you're like, hey, we didn't have a lot of seniors bowling this year, but at the end of the year, I feel like they were kind of doubling up, tripling up. Maybe my goal this year is to get a senior league going or get, a senior coffee and bowling in the morning. So use some things that were trending in the right direction and get
Mm-hmm.
those things, turn them into goals for the next year. And another thing you mentioned, which I thought was good, was yeah, it's, a lot of times it is about making more money. But sometimes if you're not setting other goals, it's not going to help you make more money. Maybe some goals are, staff is friendlier. I'm noticing we're kind of losing our friendliness. Let's be a little friendlier. That's going to help in return bring more customers in. People are going to spread the word about your place being so great. And then, in the long run, that's obviously going to make you more money when you have more customers. And I think another thing is, I don't know if some employees would want to hear this when you walk in, but I think setting goals for your employees. Sometimes if your employees don't have a goal or they just see this as oh man, I'm going to work, going to go in there, do what I got to do and leave. They kind of get a little stale, and that could carry over into customer service and then just the way they're treating people. And I think if you set a goal for the employee, it's going to help encourage them to hit that goal. And I think that could also be a very positive thing when it comes to setting goals in your center.
Yeah, and Orly, some of our listeners might be thinking, well, how do you set goals for your employees? I'll give you a great example of that. As you are setting your own goals, and we're talking about you have to put things in place to help you achieve those goals. Part of that might be that you have to reach out and get your staff involved to help you reach those goals. So one of the things that I used to do was I had a goal set for my event coordinators that they had to do X number of touches per week, right? They had to reach out and touch someone. I think there's a tagline for a product that says reach out and touch someone, right? Anyway, off subject. But anyway, we had that each week they had to have 20 touches. And that number varied based on the time of year it was, because obviously there were some times of the year where 20 was an unobtainable goal.
Okay.
And so that varied based on the time of year, but they had to reach out and do a touch. And that could be calling someone that they've never called before. That could mean calling a customer that was there a year ago and find out if they want to come back in again or if they're ready to come back in, calling previous birthday parties. There was a number of different options that they had to touch someone, but to communicate with people and remind them and keep the center top of mind. And there were incentives for them being able to get those 20 touches each week. That was the expectation. And then there was also a goal of how many parties they should book in a quarter based on the goal that they had set. So that's how you can set goals for your employees as well. And to reward them with things when they hit those goals is also fun, a fun way to keep them motivated, right? I'm not
Yeah.
talking about reaching into your pocket and necessarily having to reward them that way, but you can trade things out and get movie tickets for them or dinners for two or something, and the employees feel very appreciated when they get something like that.
Yeah, and I think, like I mentioned, you could give them a goal or maybe talk to them. Hey, do you have any goals you would like to set, for this coming year? If they say no, maybe help them choose one. Sometimes you might be thrown off a little bit by saying, "Oh, what is your goal here at the center?" They might be like, I don't know, but sit down, talk with them. What do you feel you could work on? What do you want to learn? Is there something that you want to learn?
That's right.
Maybe you're doing your same old thing. Is there something new you want to learn? We can help teach you and help you get by the end of the year, help you accomplish your goal by learning that.
100%. And you know what? Sometimes you may even have other employees that can help employees, other colleagues reach those goals. And that's just a great way to kind of bring your team together. But yeah, there's nothing more rewarding than when you have set a goal for yourself and you've accomplished that, or in our cases, Orly, when we exceed that, right? There's nothing more gratifying than that. And it's motivating. It makes you want to keep coming in and keep striving to do better and better. So I definitely encourage you, number one, set your goals for the center. Don't be afraid to make it a little bit of a stretch, because if you put your mind to it and you put the plan behind it, you can make that a reality.
Yeah, no, and it's very exciting when you hit a goal, not only to hit a goal, but when you hit a goal that you kind of, not that's necessarily out of reach, but if you're like, hey, I'm going to go big. And when you hit that goal, it's a good feeling. It helps you stay positive and it helps you set even higher goals for the following year. So I think that's very important.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Well, thank you guys for joining us today for another episode. We look forward to you tuning in next week for another episode of Seeds of Success as we equip you with more practical tips, ideas, and trends that'll help your center grow and achieve new levels of success. Remember to share this podcast with your entire team. The more seeds you plant, the bigger the crop. Until next time, keep making bowling amazing and your bottom line larger.